And so that, hey, everybody, so glad to have you tonight. We are going to be talking about living a non-toxic lifestyle. We kind of titled this live tonight, Be the Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, I actually typed into Google, what is a gatekeeper? Because I was like, I mean, I know the reference for me, but I wanted to know exactly. And it is one that is in charge of passage through. And so in this live for this topic, and in our chemical-free lifestyle, the whole gatekeeper reference is about what are we allowing into our home? I mean, you guys know, if you have children, if you don't, if it's, just you, there's certain things that you allow in your home. I know, like for me and the kids, it was at a certain age, it was, well, do I allow this video game in my home, right? It was, do I allow this cartoon in my home, right? They get a little older and it's, do I allow this friend in my home? There's just certain things that we do. We stand at the gate of our, of our home, the door, and we take inventory of which things are appropriate to let in and which things are not. And so the same applies with the products in our home. You guys, it is no secret, right, that the products that are on the market, we have to be diligent about looking at them to decide whether it's something we want in our home to use inside and on our bodies, on our children, on our grandchildren. I know there's a grandma in our wonderful group, right? And so it's just super important. We have the privilege of being the gatekeepers. So I kind of think it's strange, though, that we do have to be diligent and alert to the dangers of products sold on the shelves, because in an ideal world, companies would actually care about our well-being. They would actually serve humanity. What a concept. That companies would actually care about our oceans, our lakes, our aquatic life. But study after study prove that companies do not have a mission to serve us. They do not change their ingredients when found to be dangerous. They stand to lose millions and do everything necessary to protect their profits. It's sad. It makes me very sad. In fact, they spend enormous amounts of money to shield us from the truth of what is on the labels. And they spend enormous amounts of money on marketing and branding to attract us to their products, and in a lot of cases make them seem like they are better than they are. So that is kind of the landscape that we enter this discussion about non-toxic living. And I am going to jump into the nitty-gritty of 5 products tonight. These are 5 products that if you were to change, and many of you on the call, you are living a non-toxic lifestyle. But there may be others who view this, you can use this, right, as an education tool. There may be others who are learning, who are exploring what it might be. Why should I ditch a product? What is it that I need to learn about so that I feel compelled to switch to something that's maybe harder to access, right? Like we walk into Target, Walmart, wherever, and we pull the item off the shelf. Well, if you want a non-toxic product, you have to work a little bit harder at first. So why are we compelled to do that? I'm going to go over 5 products that if everyone were to switch these 5 products, it would make an enormous difference in our health and in our world and the stewardship of Earth, the whole thing. So I want to introduce you to somebody I started following on Instagram. You're going to like her. You're probably going to want to follow her. Wendy Catherine, holistic health coach, environmental lawyer, and clean living guru. She has a couple of studies that I want to draw your attention to right away that are super compelling. She just has all this great information all in one space. A new study published in the Environmental International Journal took urine samples from nearly 100 male volunteers and uncovered alarming levels of endocrine disruptors known to reduce human fertility. Cocktails of toxins such as BPA, dioxins, and phthalates, which are known to interfere with hormones and affect sperm quality, were present at levels up to 100 times those considered safe. The median exposure was 17 times the level deemed acceptable. Hormone disrupting toxins found in high levels were BPA, found in plastics. Plastics is a huge problem. Dioxins, byproduct of manufacturing. And some of these words Christy is going to butcher. So I might gloss over them. I might try, but paracetamol, also known as Tylenol, and phthalates found everywhere, but mostly in fragrance and other plastics, right? Worldwide fertility has declined more than 50% over the last 50 years, and scientists believe that by 2050, a large portion of the global population will require medical intervention or hormone replacement in order to have children. This is what I want us to hang on to. There's good news. After just 3 days, you guys, 3 days of avoiding these toxins, another recent study found that the levels of toxins found in the bloodstream significantly decreased. Specifically, phthalates reduced by 28%, parabens by 44%, oxybenzone by 35%, triclosan by 36%, okay? So there is hope. We absolutely can impact our health in a fairly short amount of time. It will not take long making these choices. This was another one I want to draw your attention to. What is behind the rapidly rising rates of children with liver disease? Since 2009, rates of children have gone up more than 50%, and the American Liver Foundation currently estimates 10% of all US children have non-alcoholic liver disease. Researchers from Mount Sinai published decades-long research this week and found that children who were highly exposed to endocrine disrupting toxins in pregnancy had elevated levels of biomarkers that indicate risk for liver disease. The study measured the levels of 45 endocrine disrupting toxins in the blood and urine of 108 pregnant women. When the children were 6 to 11 years old, the researchers measured the levels of biomarkers in their blood that indicate risk for liver disease. Higher levels of exposure to the toxins in utero was directly associated with elevated biomarkers. The study also found that transmission of such toxins occurred between mother and baby through the placenta, you guys, before birth and through breast milk. The most common endocrine disrupting toxins are BPA, phthalates, PFAS, triclosan, parabens, and phytoestrogens. These are found in plastics, soaps, toothpaste, skincare, fragrance, Teflon, drinking water, food packaging, and more, okay? So when it comes down to it, right, we have to be diligent. If you're a mama carrying a baby, everything's going to that baby, right? And we can make a big impact by just switching out one product at a time. When Matt and I, it's so funny. There was a point at which we were not living a non-toxic lifestyle. Many of you can probably say the same. I did not grow up in a non-toxic lifestyle, right? And so there was a point at which I learned about essential oils. That was my, dip my toes into this plant-based goodness that I did not know anything about. And the blessing and the wonderful benefit of coming to classes like this, right? Becoming involved in a community of people who know more than you do is I learned very quickly from the Young Living community. It was my schooling, right? In all things non-toxic living and education on all these things. And so we slowly started to make the switch because once you know, you can't unknow. Once you know what is in your toothpaste, I'm just gonna like start with a hard one because the toothpaste was a hard one to switch. We had been using Colgate and we were used to how it felt, the like spicy, minty, like goodness, right? Of what that did in our mouths, because that feeling was associated with clean. That feeling and the marketing on the box said that I will not get cavities if I use this product. And the belief system is so entrenched that when we started to explore whether we should change our toothpaste, there was resistance. But you can't unknow some of these things. Another slide from Wendy, because it's so good. All right. In 2015, British researchers found that this is about fluoride. Fluoride is the main ingredient, right, in toothpaste. And this study I found is interesting because we hear a lot about fluoride and neurotoxins and fluoride and endocrine disruption, but this one is specifically about the thyroid. British researchers found that drinking fluorinated water was directly correlated to higher incidence of hypothyroidism. They found that hypothyroidism rates were nearly double in urbanized regions that had fluorinated tap water compared with regions that did not. In 2019, Irish researchers discovered that fluoride inhibits a specific cell called NIS, which is responsible for transporting active iodine in the thyroid. The iodine deficiency is believed to be the mechanism that causes the hypothyroidism. Chronic iodine deficiency in infants is also found to influence long-term iodine status and health outcomes in adulthood. Iodine deficiency in pregnancy comes with risks of miscarriage, stillbirth, reduced IQ, and higher rates of ADHD. In addition, loss of iodine availability leads to inflammation, lowered immunity, and an increased risk of cancer. This is not new information. Up until the 1950s, fluoride was prescribed to those with overactive thyroid and was effective for suppressing thyroid function. Make sure you filter tap water, you swap fluorinated toothpaste for ones that use hydroxyapatite. It restores and remineralizes your enamel and prevents tooth decay without suppressing your thyroid. So super interesting information and connection between fluoride and thyroid issues, you guys. Hypothyroidism. That is a fairly new understanding for me. But think about all the thyroid issues that we have today in society. So, toothpaste, fluoride. I had some information here. Let's see. I think it says people use in a year up to 10 cups of toothpaste. That's like using it in their mouth, up to 10 cups of toothpaste on average per year. The thing that you probably know about your mouth, right, is that chemicals infiltrate very quickly when you have something in your mouth. This is why a lot of medicines are, right, sublingual, or you put it under your tongue, because it just assimilates into the body and into the bloodstream so quickly. Well, think about toothpaste, think about fluoride, right? Think about all those things. It just is like a direct route into your bloodstream. The thing that I love is that she mentioned choosing a toothpaste with hydroxyapatite, okay? And I am going to just bring up our toothpaste, because our whitening, which I love, the whitening toothpaste, if we go down here, looky, hydroxyapatite is a naturally occurring mineral that makes up 97% of our tooth enamel and has been scientifically proven to strengthen and protect your teeth without fluoride. Now, the concept that I can have healthy teeth without fluoride, you guys, that took me a minute, like to allow into my subconscious, right? Because the idea that I needed fluoride in order to be cavity free was so strong in my belief system that I didn't know if it would work or not. So when we switched to fluoride free toothpaste, I was a little bit like, I don't know what's going to happen here, but we were willing to dive in and we were willing to see. Okay. 6-7 years later, using the Thieves toothpaste, and many of you can probably attest to this, that we go in for our dental checkups, and often the dentist or the hygienist is surprised by how little plaque we have. We haven't had cavities in 7 years. I mean, okay, so it kind of proves itself, right? We don't need the levels of fluoride that they're telling us we need. Not to mention, you guys, this is about toxic overburdening. So we have fluoride in our toothpaste, but we also, if you're drinking city tap water, you've got it in your city tap water, right? So you're getting high doses of fluoride. That is just not good. The other one she brought up is xylitol, and xylitol is in our Aroma Bright. So if you prefer a toothpaste that is a little less spicy, a little less, what am I trying to say? What's the word? You know, that like, I don't know, strong, pepperminty, right? That the whitening has. If you like a less strong toothpaste, the Aroma Bright is awesome. And xylitol is right here. One of the main ingredients derived from fibrous parts of plants, usually corn. This natural sweetener actually works to prevent tooth decay through a couple of different mechanisms. It slows the growth of bacteria, helps to prevent the acid-causing culprits, alkalizes the mouth, impairs the ability of bacteria to adhere together to form plaque, and finally, it encourages salivation, which helps to remineralize the teeth. Cool stuff. So that's our toothpaste, you guys. Couple of ingredients that are so good for our teeth, so good for our bodies, like don't impair our immune system or cause neuro issues, like neurological issues, thyroid issues, right? So these are things that once you know, you can't unknow. So I'm gonna do, the next one will not surprise you. The next product will not surprise you at all. We're going to talk about sunscreen. So if you switched out toothpaste, and if you switched out sunscreen, now in Minnesota, we only use sunscreen a few months a year, but some of you use it regularly, right? So she has another great series, you guys. These are ones that you can pass around to friends. Your sunscreen is affecting your hormones in not a good way. The biggest issue with chemical sunscreen ingredients is that they are all absorbed into the body after one use and are found on the skin and in the blood weeks after no longer being used. Several studies have even detected these ingredients in breast milk and urine samples. In 2019, the FDA announced that none of the chemical sunscreen ingredients, all of those, could be classified as safe and effective based on the current available science. You guys, none of them are safe, and yet they continue to make all of the products, right? These ingredients are known to lower testosterone in males, cause allergic reaction, alter thyroid function, behave like hormone disruptors, and are potentially greater harm to children. Studies published in 2020 show that oxybenzone likely increases the risk of breast cancer, endometriosis, thyroid tumors, and uterine hyperplasia. SPF, this is interesting, over 30 offers very little additional protection and has much higher levels of toxic ingredients. These are the percentages of UVB rays blocked by the SPF rating. And you can see from 93%, which is still really high, to 100%, 99%, right? So we are using potentially SPF 50, SPF 100 with much higher levels of toxic ingredients for not even any more protection, hardly at all. Australia prohibits the sale of sunscreen any higher than SPF 30. Europe, Japan, and Canada cap sunscreen marketing at SPF 50. The FDA has proposed regulations capping SPF marketing at 50, but those regulations were never approved. Go figure. SPF 50 plus sunscreens suppress sunburns and allow for longer UVA-induced damage like suppression of the immune system, formation of harmful free radicals in the skin, and development of melanoma. The benefits of smart, unblocked sun exposure. So when you're in the sun, if you're smart, it increases melatonin production. It enhances your mood, your energy, immune system, natural protection from UVB damage, and all the good vitamin D. You guys, I am so sad that our society is actually afraid of the sun. That makes me very sad. Like, we obviously need to be careful. That's a no-brainer. But to the point where we're afraid, right? That if we spend any amount of time in the sun, we will get cancer. I mean, that's the message. To prevent burning, and then she has her suggestion. If you're going to be in the sun for longer periods of time, opt for a clean, reef-safe sunscreen that uses non-nano zinc oxide as the main ingredient. My favorites are in the caption, and she has some great suggestions. You guys can go back and read. But I am going to look up, this is our Young Living website, for those of you who might not be familiar with it. Really easy to maneuver. You just look for what you're looking for. And our mineral sunscreen, SPF 50, she mentioned zinc oxide, main ingredient, right? And look at the features and benefits that are so beautiful. Reef safe, non-nano zinc oxide provides safe and powerful sun protection. Clean sunscreen without any skin damaging chemicals. Dermatologist tested, cruelty-free, non-greasy, fast absorbing formula without the white residue. It's true. It is a very nice formula. Now, if you're used to the spray, all the chemicals, it's an adjustment to a lotion based, right? Like a creamy based, but it's worth it. Formulated for all skin types, formulated without, and then all the chemicals, right? So our sunscreen is a really great option to switch out. So toothpaste, sunscreen, no brainers so far, right? How about, this is another one that tends to hurt a little bit. Plug-ins, candles, air fresheners. Like, we all love fragrance. I think that is, doesn't even need to be said. But my goodness, are there some huge offenders in the fragrance today, unfortunately. We are going to go to, she's just got such great information. Studies, I love the studies. The Journal of the National Cancer Institute published a first of its kind study linking phthalate exposure to higher incidence of specific childhood cancers. And when we talk about fragrance, we're talking about phthalates, you guys. Childhood phthalate exposure was associated with 20% higher rate of childhood cancer overall, with a nearly threefold higher rate of osteosarcoma, a bone cancer, and a twofold higher rate of lymphoma diagnosis, cancer of the blood. Phthalates were first created in the 1920s and are more widely known as plasticizers used to create PVC. For decades, they were mostly used for industrial purposes. We're talking about like buildings, like plastics. Eventually, non-industrial uses were discovered, and this chemical quickly became known as the everywhere chemical. Adding phthalates to fragrance made the scent last for a long period of time. And that's, that's something that we're always kind of looking for, isn't it? Phthalates are now found in personal care products, detergents, home fragrance cleaners, receipts of all things, food products and wrappers, perfumes, eyeshadow, moisturizer, nail polish, liquid soap, and hairspray. In 2004, the CDC found that phthalate exposure was widespread in the US, and women had higher levels than men, likely due to the scents in soap, body washes, shampoos, perfumes, cosmetics. I mean, let's face it, the women have more of the fragrance. In 2005, groundbreaking research linked phthalate levels in pregnant mothers with altered development of infant males. In the last decade, more studies have shown that phthalate disrupt hormone activity, reduce sperm counts, and are linked to infertility. Fetal exposure is linked with autism, ADHD, and neurological disorders. Meanwhile, the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act allows companies to self-regulate. They are also allowed to omit phthalates from their ingredient label as a protected trade secret. Since you won't find phthalates on the label of a product, the only way to avoid them, right, is to avoid any label that says fragrance or perfume. 75% of products on the market use phthalates in their fragrance. So sadly, you cannot buy a product. If you were to walk into any store, right, in your area, you just cannot buy a product that says fragrance if you're wanting to stay away from phthalates. The likelihood that it has phthalates is too great. So what do we do? Well, many of us on the call, we know exactly what we do, right? A really good alternative is our essential oils. And a great way to enter into the realm of fragrance through essential oils is through one of our starter kits, right? Because there's such a good price. This little Haven starter bundle, it gets you set up with a diffuser and a couple of bottles, dropper bottles, that you can create your own fragrance. And there are many, oops, it just went back. Many starter bundles with different diffusers. One of the most popular is the Aria, because that diffuser is so beautiful. I have had mine for years, very high quality. And so that is one that people opt for often. And then the Desert Mist is another popular one, but it comes, you guys, with all these oils. So you start to learn which fragrances you love, right? It can be difficult to make the switch, but you start by playing around, and the starter kits are the perfect way. The other thing I actually didn't even know we had is this. Did you guys know we had this? You can attach the spray tops and the roller tops to the bottles. So not only are you getting rid of your plugins because you're now diffusing in your home, you are getting rid of your fragrance sprays because now you just put a spray bottle topper on your oil, and your roll-ons for like personal fragrance or whatever you want to make, you can just put one of these little roller tops on and you're good to go. So those are the ways, you guys, you can ditch the candles, right? Candles are hard to give up for a lot of people. Candles and all of the fragrance, it's attached to like seasonal changes. You start to crave different fragrances when it's fall, when it's winter, right? But what we have done is we have effectively found essential oils like Christmas spirit. The angels sing about baby Jesus's birth, and I'm sure Christmas spirit was diffusing because that is the most wonderful seasonal oil. And now Young Living, they just dropped at convention for the first time. Yeah, Jamie just put it in the chat. The simplified collections. So these are a trio of 3 blends that are just for the smell of it. That's kind of their little tagline. So it's a great entry point for people who just love personal fragrance, love home fragrance. The simplified collections are going to be changing seasonally. So there's going to be another drop in September, and they're just a wonderful way to make that switch. All right. So toothpaste, sunscreen, candles, plugins, home fresheners, like air fresheners, right? Changing it up. Just those three things, you guys. Think of all the chemicals you just got rid of. For me, that's very exciting. Okay, we're going to hit the next one. Household cleaner. Household cleaners. Before Young Living, before I found a plant-based non-toxic cleaner, I was using what, 4, 5, 6 different cleaners for all the different things. One was for the shower. Oh my word, you guys. Matt, I would make Matt clean the shower. And he used scrubbing bubbles. Have you guys ever used scrubbing bubbles? It is awful. It is so strong. And he would go in there like with gloves on. he'd close the door, turn the fan on, because we didn't want the scent wafting into the rest of the house, especially with the kids being little. Like, we had some sense, like, this is not good. This is dangerous, right? But he would get in there and he'd spray the whole thing, because you were supposed to like let it sit for like 5-10 minutes. Spray the whole thing. It smelled awful. I can't even imagine the exposure, just disgusting. And then go in and, like, you know, practically with a mask on and his gloves, he would clean it off. Anyway, that's very common in households and so bad. Conventional cleaning products contaminate the air with a mix of carcinogens, hormone disruptors, neurotoxic solvents, mood-altering chemicals, and reproductive toxins. Scientists regard household cleaning products as one of the most important sources of indoor pollution and one of the most insidious threats to human health. You guys, like, I understand there are some big issues in the world today, but I'm sorry, these are big issues. Like indoor pollution and what we're doing to ourselves and our health. And it's just not, you don't see it anywhere. Like, it's nowhere, maybe on the back of the bottle, right? There's a caution, because they have to put that on there. So there's a toxic trio that you're looking for when it comes to your household cleaners: parabens, triclosan, and phthalates. And we've gone over them a little bit. But basically, we're talking about major hormone disruption, you guys. Reproductive toxicity, neurotoxicity, skin irritation. We're talking about like long-term adverse effects from the products we use. And it's just not worth it. Once you know, right? Most cleaners use volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and other toxins that cause allergic reactions and headaches. Even the American Lung Association admits that exposure to chemicals from cleaners is linked to asthma, chronic respiratory illness, and lung cancer. In fact, stay-at-home moms, when I saw this study, I read this study a few years ago, and like, it made me super sad. Stay-at-home moms are much more likely to develop lung cancer. And why is that? Because the moms are there in the home, in the indoor pollution, cleaning all the time. So some consumers may want to look for parabens, triclosan, phthalates on the label to try to avoid these chemicals or any others, but cleaning products only have to list their main ingredient families in the product and how much of each there is in the product in a series of weight ranges. So again, you guys, the labeling, we can't even look at and decide that it's bad for us, because they have gone to such effort to shield what's actually in the products. But one thing to know is manufacturers have to put a website address on the packaging. So this is one area, if you're looking into a product, look for a website, because they do typically list the ingredients on the website. But funny that you have to dig, like, why, right? Oh my goodness. Then we can talk about greenwashing. Greenwashing is you walk into, and I am guilty. So let's say I run out of my, what is one that I've done? like more than once. I run out of my dish soap. So in my sink, my dish soap, right? So I run into Target and I go down the aisle because I need some. And I look at the options. And what am I naturally looking for? Because I have a little bit more of a, mindset about the chemicals. I'm looking for branding that says, hi, I'm green and clean. Okay. I shouldn't fall for this. But you guys, it's called greenwashing. So marketing and branding that they spend thousands, maybe millions on, that makes themselves look like non-toxic brands when they are not. So here's 3 that you might be surprised about. Method. Method is a very, very popular brand that those who are a little more, non-toxic minded, like they're looking for a safer option, they're going to grab Method off of the shelf. Method gets the top spot for greenwashing because of its popularity. They do get credit for disclosing their ingredients, using recycled plastic and being carbon conscious, but it ends there. Fragrance and a whole slew of chemicals are included in the Method products. They are owned by Johnson & Johnson, and they got sued. And you can get your money back if you purchased their cleaning products. The Chicago-based Method company was purchased by J&J in 2017 and was to be the ultimate greenwashing marketing experiment, and it worked. Even though it was now full of toxic surfactants and synthetic fragrances, it promised a non-toxic alternative to the other brands that Johnson & Johnson owns. So this was the one that they decided, we're going to see if people will buy this if they want a cleaner option. Anyone who shops at Target knows that Method is always front and center, and there are all kinds of biodegradable and earth-friendly signs everywhere. Well, someone finally called them on it, and we're suing that the non-toxic labels are false and misleading, and Johnson & Johnson recently agreed to a massive payout settlement. Okay. Mrs. Meyer's is the second one. Another Johnson & Johnson owned company, is the worst of the worst, slew of chemicals. They are expert advertisers, and it's beyond unethical. The third one is Simply Green. They may use green in their name, right? But they are anything but. They extensively use this I can't even say this chemical, and they fail to disclose it on their label. So basically a carcinogen. So it's not possible, right, to get a cleaning product from our local store and know that it doesn't have the chemicals in it. So what is the option? Well, we have an awesome option that we love, right? And this Thieves household cleaner has replaced, and I'm sure you guys can say the same, those of you who use it, it has replaced everything, every cleaner in our home. So it's a concentrate, so it's incredibly budget friendly. You just need a capful in a spray bottle, like a tiny little, like the capful, and you fill the rest with water and you use it for everything. I love these directions here. Most cleaning applications, 1 capful of Thieves household cleaner and 2 cups of water. And then light degreasing is another dilution rate, and then great for cleaning kitchen counters, walls, hard floors, carpets, mirrors, high chairs, appliances, more, everything. You guys, I have 1 cleaner under my sinks in my kitchen and in my bathroom, and this is it. Okay, I will say I have 2 because I love the kitchen and bath scrub. That is another really awesome product. But again, it is effective deep cleaning with the power of naturally derived plant-based ingredients that lift the dirt, pet stains, dried on food, grime, more, all of the things. You guys, the Thieves, the essential oils and ingredients in Thieves. Let's see, if we go to the hand sanitizer, another product that we love, look at what it says. kicks 99.99% of germs to the curb, right? And that's the formula that it is in our Thieves Cleaner, plus a few more, right? But it is very, very, very effective. Okay. Let's see. There is one other that I want to call your attention to. Do you guys use the kitchen and bath scrub? This lasts me forever, and it's like the replacement for, my mom used Ajax, you guys, you know, that didn't all of our moms use Ajax? It was just what you did because you needed a little bit of that, you know, friction in your cleaning, like to get some things up. And I love this product. I used to make kind of my own, but I love that they came out with this. All right, the last one I want to bring your attention to. Let's go to the laundry room, because the laundry room is probably the most toxic room in your home, if we're honest. Traditional laundry detergents are so toxic to humans, animals, aquatic life, that really they should be banned. Simply look up dangerous chemicals in laundry detergent. I'm not going to go over the list because it's long. We'd be here for a while. Just look it up. It was the first thing that came up when I typed in dangerous chemicals in laundry detergent. It's all right there. And it's astounding that we're using these products. But this is a hard swap for a lot of us, because for my husband, Tide meant clean, right? Like there's certain chemicals and there's certain fragrances and there's certain products that it is just, we just can't even imagine using anything else. But now that we use an alternative, I can't even imagine going back to like the fragrance. Like we're talking about laundry detergent, we're talking about fabric softeners, we're talking about dryer sheets. You guys, sometimes when I take a walk, I can like smell these chemicals wafting from homes. And sometimes when I'm walking behind someone, I can smell the chemicals wafting from their clothes that they're just like bathing in. So laundry detergent, make the swap. And sorry to say, there are 0 safe, non-toxic disposable dryer sheets or fabric softener products on the market. 0, like they're all chemicals. Fabric softeners and dryer sheets coat our clothes with a subtle layer of slimy chemicals. That's why they feel a little softer. You literally are wearing the chemical on your clothing all day and night, and it's seeping into your skin and getting into your body. Not to mention the fragrance. And we've covered what a toxic mess. The fragrance is so strong in laundry products, you guys. Oh my goodness, it's so strong. It's linked to lung problems, asthma, cancer, nervous system damage, on and on and on, right? So what do we potentially switch to? Well, we love our laundry products. Our Thieves Laundry Soap is, you guys, technically, I mean, I think it even says it's concentrated. It is a concentrate. So one of the things Jamie and I were talking about earlier today is she gets 3 bottles out of this. So she will split this in thirds. So she'll save her bottles, or she has like, you know, pump bottles, and she puts a third in one bottle, you know, and a third in another bottle, and she gets 3 full bottles of this. And it lasts forever. So I haven't actually diluted my Thieves yet, but I'm going to, because it is very, very, very budget friendly. The second thing we love are the dryer balls. So if you're looking to, you know, have that dryer sheet replacement, dryer balls are awesome. It cuts down on the drying time. You can put essential oils on them. It's wonderful. Now, I also heard a tip about fabric softener. If you use vinegar, has anybody ever used vinegar in their washer? I think during the rinse cycle, and that actually serves as a softener if you have to have that. If you have soft water, it's not really a big deal, right? But some people don't, so those are options. So we love, love, love our laundry products. And I'm sure you're chatting about it in the chat, but a really good alternative, you guys, plant-based, just full of goodness and very effective, right? Free from SLS, dyes, petrochemicals, formaldehyde, phosphate, synthetic perfumes, chlorine, optical brighteners, all the things. Okay. So those are the top 5. If we were to switch out toothpaste, sunscreen, candles, air fresheners, plugins, right? That's one category. Household cleaner and our laundry products, it would change, like it would change our lives. And so again, once you know, you know. The last thing that I have here, and I'll get us out before an hour, that will be really nice, won't it? Right? I'm only at about 45 minutes. The last thing is I just want to go over what it would look like, right? The ditch and switch plan. Can you guys see this? So the ditch and switch plan. So this month, if you decided, yep, I'm going for it. Toothpaste, sunscreen, household cleaner, laundry soap, which keep in mind, these two will easily last you months and months and months, right? We've got our total, $105.25. And the way you want to work this is Young Living has a loyalty program in which they give you back a percentage that you use like cash. So when you go in to, let's see if I can find it again. When you go into the website, I think I turned it off. Did I turn it off? I'm going to go back into the website because it's easier if I show you. So let's say, yep, this is it. I'm doing the Thieves laundry soap. Do you see down here? One is add to cart and one is create a loyalty order. That's where you want to start. You want to create a loyalty order because you will then get the points, right? It's a benefit of creating a loyalty order. You get 24%. If it's your first time ordering Young Living, you immediately get 24% off everything. Like that's your customer discount. So if you create a loyalty order, you immediately get that 24% off and you start getting these points. So let's say we got these and we put it on a loyalty order. Total is 105. You get 10% back in rewards points. So you got $10 cash, like Young Living cash to spend already. Let's say next month you're like, yep, I'm ditching my candles. I'm going to try this. I'm ditching my plugins, like I'm going to go chemical free in my fragrance. Then get a premium starter kit with a diffuser and that kit of beautiful oils. And that's like I think the most inexpensive one is 135. And then obviously the Aria that I showed you is more. But then with that 10% that you start with in points, you got 10 more points because you look at the PV, right? And so the PV of that kit is going to be 100 and you get 10 more points. So already you've got, in 2 months, you've got $20 that you just earned. So you can you just bought yourself another laundry soap. It's free. You just got another laundry soap for free, right? And then month 3, let's say, yep, I need mouthwash. I'm going to ditch my mouthwash because I didn't go into the other products, you guys, there's plenty more, but I'm going to ditch my mouthwash. I'm going to get that kitchen and bath scrub she talked about. And I would love the smell of orange. I think that'd be delicious. And Breathe Again is all the eucalyptus yummy oils that is going to set you up for all the respiratory support you need for the fall. So you're going to grab that in month 3. And that's $65.25. And then you get $6.50 in loyalty rewards points. So you're adding up into your little piggy bank. And the next thing when you have a loyalty rewards order is Young Living sends you a gift, an essential oil after 3 months of placing orders. So you get a gift and you get points and you get all your non-toxic products. We love it. We're kind of addicted. It's wonderful. And then I wanted to say month 4, your points percentage goes up from 10 to 20%. You guys, you're getting a lot of points and you're like cashing them. You're getting products for free. Going and shopping the products and using your points feels like a shopping spree, and it feels amazing. So then you spend, so it goes up to 20% back on every order, and you get the gifts at 6 months and after 9 months and after 12 months. They send you more essential oils for free. They're gifts that they're giving you, saying thank you for being a loyal orderer, like a loyal orderer. And then after 2 consecutive months of ordering, you get 25% in points back on, and that's where I'm at, and a lot of people on the call are at 25% back in points. Guys, you don't get that kind of customer benefit anywhere. Like I get what, 5% at Target, 5% off my order when I use their little card. Wow. And I'm just like, yay, I love using my little card. 5%. Well, you're getting 25% on your order. So anyway, I wanted to walk through that because for some people who are just starting to explore, well, what would this look like? This is what it would look like. And these products last you quite a long time, some more than others. But when it comes to this, you guys just go on the website. If somebody invited you to watch this, just ask them any questions. And then the other thing, if this is your first order, you put their name or their member number in a place when you're ordering, and they become like your person. They want to be your person anyway. They're your friend, right? So you can ask them questions. They are connected to our community, so we can let you know when we have more educational classes. We can put you in our Facebook groups. You can just learn so much, right? Like we did when we started. And then also the person that invited you, when you put their number, when you enter it in, when you order, they get a referral bonus. So it's super nice to be able to do that for them. So I'm going to open it up real quick for comments and questions, and anything else that you think should be said.
Christy, I have a testimony on the hazards of cleaning chemicals, if you want to hear it.
Please.
I'll make it as quick as I possibly can. I've been cleaning for 25 years. It started off with 409 Windex, products like that. 10 years ago, I started using Young Living. But before Young Living, I was already having serious asthma. I was on an inhaler, serious allergies, and I went to the dermatologist and they put me on medications, or the allergist, and they put me on medications. I went to the dermatologist because I had all kinds of skin problems, and they told me it was sun damage and it was just whatever. And not once did they ever say anything about the chemicals I was using, and they knew I did house cleaning. And then I switched over to the Young Living stuff, got rid of the chemicals, but still having to go in. And the dermatologist, I went in about 2 months ago because it was getting so bad after I gotten the sea yuck. And I told her it flared everything up, and she says that's one of the side effects because I got eczema really, really bad. But anyway, all the other stuff got bad too. I had actinic keratosis, which is pre-cancer, and it's all over my body. And in the 15 years I had been seeing her, she would never one time admit that it was the chemicals, even though I would ask her about it. And they kept putting me on medications, and I said, this isn't doing anything. And she says, it's dumb luck because they did an allergy test, a scratch test on the back. I wasn't allergic to anything. And she kept trying to give me medication, and then she gave me salves, and the salves, and they would eat my skin. The last time they gave me something, she said it was the gentlest that they had, ate through my skin. I went in, she goes, you can't use this anymore. And she knew I was using the oil. She says, you keep using your oils. So when I went in 2 months ago, was the first time in 15 years that she said, it's not sun damage, it is your chemicals. And for her to finally admit that, because they don't want to admit it, because she's pushing chemicals on me to begin with her medication and salves. And then to finally admit that it was all the chemical. She says, you have chemical buildup in your body. But
Wow.
she didn't offer anything to help with it. So now I'm trying like heck to use the Young Living stuff to try and get rid of that. And I'm excited about the collagen. The household cleaner, the Thieves household cleaner has been amazing. Just so you know, one time I had Lysol in the back of my car, and it was in a plastic bin with my wash rags, and it had leaked a little bit. And I don't know how long it had been sitting in there. And it was hot, it was summertime, so it got really hot in there. And I went in there and I could smell it as soon as I opened the lid on the plastic bin. And as I picked up the washcloths, they disintegrated in my hands like powder. Every single one of them, even the ones that weren't spilled on, but that just were sitting in that odor, they all disintegrated into a powder. It was freaky. And needless to say, I quit using that.
Wow.
But then as far as your laundry detergent and your dryer sheets and things like that, I actually said yes. And I told somebody I would do some of their laundry. And when I went into their dryer and I tried to, I was going to change the sheets and stuff. And I went into their, to clean their screen. And it was actually like sticky and icky. And it was like all stuck together. And I actually brought it home and I compared it to mine. I did a bunch of loads of laundry and I didn't clean the lint dryer, and mine was all fluffy and was just kind of fluffing around when I took it out, and hers was just gobbed together. It was so gross. So anyway, that's some of my cleaning stories. So
wow. Well, I'm hoping you can detox. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't know what to do, but I'm working on it. So yeah.
Thank you, Pam.
Yep, you bet.
Elisa?
I'm going to make it really fast. But prior to meeting Jamie and introducing me to Young Living, I was on an extreme medication for chronic bronchitis, albuterol, nebulizer. I quit smoking 20 years ago, but I seem to always be sick. And whether it was allergies from living in the desert or whatever, it was always kind of a mystery to me why I was always so congested, coughing, whatever. The 5 things that you talked about today were, and I was able to financially be able to move through those things fairly quickly. Some other people need to prioritize and figure out what's the most important to them. But I immediately, after talking to Jamie, I eliminated the cleaners, the plugins, and this, because you've been to my house, Christy. I'm a super clean freak. Everything's got to be super clean. Pine Sol, Mommy Clean, bleach. I would put bleach on the floor and then go around with a towel in my bare feet and clean my floors. I'm in the restaurant industry. This is what we did. Little did I know those things were causing me to have tremendous illness. And I don't know if it's appropriate for this chat compliantly or what have you, but I'll tell you, I eliminated the bleach on the floors, the Pine Sol. I was a little skeptical about the Thieves cleaner. I'm like, yeah, is this really going to clean my house? Man, I got to tell you, the Thieves cleaner, we got rid of the toothpaste. We've been cavity free for 5+ years. The sunscreen, I'm just still kind of dabbling in that. I put it in a spray bottle because it is a little thick. And I kind of tend to be that person that goes, I'm scared to go in the sun. So we've been working through that. Your recommendations for of course, the laundry products. And Jamie taught me years ago to take that bottle, because when I first got that bottle, I was like, you gotta be. When I got that bottle, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'll go through that bottle in a day.
Yeah.
I automatically learned to save the bottles, pour them off. I'm going to tell you something. You know, if you go to Costco and you buy their free clear, it's $20 for their jug. Ours is $30, whatever it is. But I get 3 jugs, and then you only use a little bit and it does the job. So in the long run, from an inflation protection, if you're looking for things to save you money, I'm going to tell you that laundry soap, the Thieves Cleaner, is it's a gotta have. The toothpaste, there's no question. I'm using, my dentist is like, what are you doing? Okay. Toothpaste, the plugins, we don't use any of that. So my point about the plugins and the fresheners, I was the girl that was spraying and candles. And ever since I gave that up a few years ago, when Jamie introduced me to diffusing and all that, I gave it up. So guess what? I don't have to go to the doctor for bronchitis. I don't need to use the nebulizer. I don't need to use a albuterol. I don't need to use any of these things. So this is, I don't know how much that's saving me. I really don't know, because I would still have been buying the candles. So, I mean, I can do a spreadsheet on it, but I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head, I'm going to have the smells anyway with my diffuser. Now I'm not going to the doctor for all these other things. And when you get to my age, you know, doctor appointments start to, you know, it gets to be kind of expensive to go to the doctor. And then the laundry products we talked about, and the cleaner. If there's nothing else anybody hears today, if you just transition to the cleaner and get rid of all the other stuff under your sink, and that, you're going to save a ton of money. That 1 bottle of cleaner, I can't even tell you how many bottles. I have 15 bottles. I have the 32 ounce, you know, I'm in the restaurant industry, so I get access to these big 32 ounce bottles. So 1 cap full in a 32 ounce bottle, and I'm spraying the windows, the mirrors, the countertops. I'm spraying everything and anything. You're going to save a ton of money. The last time I checked, 409 was like 509. Just saying. It's super expensive to buy that stuff at the stores. So in an inflation environment where we're looking at ways to save money, and people look at the cost of Young Living, they go, oh my God, $20, that's too much. If we can really understand more clearly about how you can break that down and understand how much it actually costs you, once you dilute it, you'll see that you're going to save a lot of money. And I'm grateful to Young Living, because now I don't need to use albuterol and nebulizers, because
Right. Like that's
I don't get
priceless.
bronchitis anymore.
Yeah, that's priceless, Elisa. I mean, yes, there was cost in buying those meds, but I'm telling you what, your quality of life, you know, being able to breathe, that's priceless. So great testimonies. Thank you guys so much. I hope this information was helpful. Please pass it on to anyone that might find it useful and educational. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.